Today we are riding 32-inch wheels for the first time. We are here in Moab at Gemini Bridges. We just wrapped Moab Rocks yesterday, so we figured what better place to test than the trails we were just riding tired on our 29-inch signal piece yesterday. We can ride them tired today on 32-inch wheels and kind of see what difference that makes. Before we dive into this, just want to be super clear that this is not a bike review. This is not a product review. This is not a review of the fork or the wheels or anything, because everything on these bikes is pre-production prototype. So it might change a lot. Our goals for today are to just ride the bikes, provide feedback to Ari. They've been really generous and open with this whole process in allowing us to film this and share this with all of you guys. See what we think, see what we notice. Does this seem like it's something that will be helpful for XC racing down the line? Does this feel like something that makes sense for us? I'm pretty excited. It's always fun to get to ride new bikes, try something a little different. What better place to do it than Moab? So let's go take a look at what we're working with. The first step here is to swap a bunch of stuff from our signal peaks that we've been racing onto the 32-inch bikes to kind of minimize the variables that we are paying attention to. So saddle, pedals, and then we also decided to swap my cranks, which then spawned a bunch more problems. So we've had to swap the derailleur and the cassette and the shifter. Yep. Okay, so it's sort of turned into an ordeal.
You can never get racers happy, can you?
I'm happy. Mackie is just like, you need to do this. He predicts that I will be unhappy in the future. This is Tyler.
Hi.
Oh my God, there's a dog under our feet. What is your role at Ari?
I run product team. So I don't. I product guy. So I work on product.
Awesome.
Work with the engineers, designers. Get to dictate a little bit of what product is. Suppliers, factories.
And you've been
a little bit of everything.
You've been spearheading this 32 project.
There's been a group of us. Spencer's done a lot of the design
Okay.
work on it, and I got excited about it, and it's been fun.
Because you're pretty tall, as we can see. Because I'm also pretty tall. The internet doesn't know this. Every time we meet someone that follows us on the internet, they're like, "Oh, we just thought Mackie was short and you were normal." But I'm actually 5'11".
It's quite convenient you guys are on the same size bike,
yeah, exactly.
actually.
And how tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
Yeah, okay.
I slouch, I've got
Yeah,
old.
okay. Well, I slouch too, so that makes two of us. What are your goals for today?
Have fun, first of all.
Cool.
I mean, that's why we ride bikes anyways.
Yep.
To get you guys on 32 and just get some feedback and some thoughts.
Cool.
You know, we have our own kind of opinions of how we're riding it and what we're doing. But yeah, we want to see what you guys think. You guys are doing all sorts of different riding and racing.
Yeah.
You guys have different experience than us. And so we're ready to learn from you.
Cool.
Who knows what's happening in the future or where it's coming, but it's a test geometry, test setup, test wheel size.
I'm pretty excited, and we get to ride this Mag 7 area, which I love, so should be pretty fun.
Awesome.
What'd you say? I might have a little snack. Get out of here.
So this stem is something that Spencer was running to make this similar to his signal, or it was just rage bait for Sea Otter. Maybe a little bit of both.
It worked.
Successful rage bait. How to keep people from noticing 32-inch reels. Put a really ugly stem on it.
As Sid mentioned, we want to minimize the differences from our current setups on our Signal Peak cross-country bikes so that we know that any differences we are feeling are from the 32-inch wheels. So we did the following: installed our saddles and matched the saddle height, swapped out the 170mm cranks on the bike for our 175mm cranks, installed our pedals, and set the suspension up for our weights. The bike Sid was riding already had Shimano brakes and wireless shifting, so that was perfect. Mine didn't, and after some discussion, we decided it wasn't worth the hassle to swap that out, as I figured I could probably ignore that difference. We ran our usual tire pressures on the installed Maxxis Aspens, the tires we usually run on our cross-country bikes. So, all in all, we were able to match our existing setups pretty darn well.
Alright, we're off. Took us a little while. Try to dial everything in so that it feels as similar to our bikes.
Oh, okay. Oh. There's multiple levels to the lockout.
We made it a minute and a half, and Sid decided her saddle was too short. Well, I know it was at least a minute because the camera recorded for a minute, so.
Yeah, that feels.
Well, that feels better. Well, my legs don't feel that bad. Yeah. Ooh, maybe a little bit.
I mean, at this point, we've only been going for 2 minutes, 3 minutes maybe. And what I'm noticing the most is all of the things that are not the fact that it is 32-inch wheels. Like the mechanical shifting and the different brakes.
It really, like,
Just doesn't feel weird.
doesn't feel as weird as I thought it would.
Yeah. That's just what I was saying.
Yeah, the fit feels a little funky to me still.
Man, it does roll over things really nicely. That's pretty wild. 29-inch tires, or wheels, roll over things well. It is noticeable that this rolls over things better. Like things that I would expect to feel rough are kind of like, would slow me down or like, you know, kind of, what's the word? Like stall me out. I don't feel that. I expect it to stall me out and then it doesn't. I was not sure about this, but it feels very similar to my cross-country bike, or my Signal, so.
Yeah, I definitely feel a little more elevated, but it doesn't necessarily feel bad.
Curious, like it's not what you've been used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be fascinating is you ride it though, and we
Yeah.
get on some sections where it's like, let's go time A to B.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not where you've been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're riding something completely different now.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to go like back to back. It's just different.
Yeah, it's just different. And it's probably similar to how I, like the angle that I have on my Delano. That's crazy how comfortable it started feeling. Because my first like spin around the parking lot, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it'll be the corners at speed that I'm also curious to experience. Yeah, it does take a little more effort to corner. Yeah, I think so. I think the centripetal force is it's a wider, like longer lever arm. So it's going to take a little more force to lean it over. Yep.
I need a touch of air in my rear tire.
All right.
And then I'll be good.
Been riding for 15 minutes, including some stops.
Honestly, I thought it was going to feel way weirder. My first spin around the parking lot, I was like, oh God, everything feels strange. And as soon as we got on trail, it felt good, honestly. Felt a little upright in the corners. So like that, I can tell like something is different.
I definitely noticed that it rolls over things better. Like places where I would expect to stall out a little bit, like, that doesn't happen, which is really cool. And then when we turned around and started going a little faster and in some of the corners, it's a little bit more work to lean the bike over, which makes sense because bigger wheels, more mass farther out, there's like a longer lever arm. But it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm blowing all the corners. It was just, got to work a little bit harder. And I suspect like 3 minutes into this descent that we're about to do, we will stop noticing it. did this descent yesterday during the Moab Rocks race, and yeah, so conditions should be pretty similar. Obviously not quite as tired as yesterday because I didn't just have to climb, you know, almost 3,000 feet or something. But I'm curious to see how it feels compared to yesterday. Curious to compare times compared to yesterday. The trail is a little bit more beat up since I rode it yesterday because, you know, 300 people rode it behind me.
We decided to do a non-stop run on Upper Bull Run for comparison's sake, and I actually ended up PRing this Strava segment by a few seconds, despite having raced it many times, including at least once on an enduro bike. This definitely isn't an apples to apples comparison because it's hard to quantify the fatigue that we usually carry into this segment after the climb, but at a bare minimum, it shows that I was able to get comfortable on this bike quite quickly.
Turns out my legs are a little tired from yesterday.
So far, so good. Definitely felt good in that monkey pile. Oh, I didn't get into the right gear there. That's okay.
I feel like Moab's never right here.
This is true. Yeah.
Oh man, it rolls up things so nice. Like obviously there are still certain sized holes that it'll stall out on, because any wheel will stall out in a, you know, big enough hole. But it's certainly different. It takes a bigger hole to stall these wheels out than I'm used to.
I always forget about that turn.
Yeah. Nice. Feels good. apparently not, so I guess he's having fun.
That was fun.
That was really fun,
You guys
Tyler.
are moving.
Dude,
Like,
that was awesome.
moving.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that trail.
Watching you guys kind of float that on those bikes, especially with that fast tread.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I'm still finding the playful point a little bit, like, and it might just be because it's a bit heavier.
Okay,
It's not
yeah.
always like getting the bunny hop
Yeah.
when I'm going for it, but that's,
You're a touch longer on wheelbase too.
yeah, so that
So
would
it's just
change
kind of
it.
Oh,
getting
yeah.
what's happening and
Mm-hmm.
what do you feel? This is a great spot too, especially the ledgy stuff.
Yeah.
And then the loose over hard traction wise, but
the straight sections feel fantastic, like those couple of points where you
yeah, just off the brakes.
yeah. I think I'm still getting used to it on the corners, or just like, I think it's gonna feel weirder than it does, so I'm like going into the tighter corners a little slower, because I'm like, I don't know.
But
Okay.
pressures are going to be a little different because
Yeah.
you're working with different volumes. So we started tire pressure is what you've been used to.
Yeah.
So we can mess around with that, especially as you kind of get into the sandy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So be kind of curious there. And it's also you're on a race tread. What are you
Yeah.
doing there? How's that working?
I definitely feel like I was getting less beat up than yesterday, but I don't know how much of that was just like the long climb going into that.
Yeah.
set.
You came into it less fatigued.
Right. Yeah. But I also think maybe just staying above some of this with the bigger
You're not
wheels.
dropping into the holes. They're
Yeah,
hitting further down on
yeah.
the wheel.
Yeah.
You could run higher pressure theoretically, right? Because you have more volume.
Think
you
of
have
it
more
think of it like a
contact
fat bike.
Yeah.
You're
Or
running
you run way
lower
lower pressure.
You have higher volumes, but you're running lower pressures to get the same kind of tire displacement, tire movement.
Ah, okay.
Kind of like, think of like more of a fat bike would be like the extreme.
Yeah.
So you're theoretically, this is theory,
Yeah.
prove it,
Yeah.
right? You can actually come down in tire
Interesting.
pressure.
Huh.
Oh, this part's scary. I don't like this close. That felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell I'm tired, but
You want to try swapping stems?
I mean, I would be kind of curious actually.
Well, and then you can
Yeah.
change stack with it.
Yeah.
Slam.
Yeah.
You're just going full send on those drops and everything like it's nothing. That was awesome.
I did hit some little
slide the
hook
bar
to
out.
flat there that I was like, ugh. All right, I've got the rage bait stem on now. I'm not sure how I'm going to like it. I do feel like the climbing position on this feels more like what I'm used to, but I'm wondering if I'm not gonna like it going downhill, but we'll find out.
Well, go ahead. If you want to stop, we'll stop.
Yeah,
I've got
cool.
a little tool. We can move a spacer.
Whoops!
right, the stem swap. I think I liked it better with the weird, crazy, negative drop stem. It just feels, I think maybe the cockpit feels a little short, which makes sense because if you raise the stem up, that's kind of bringing it towards you. So I could see potentially putting a longer stem on, which this is probably like a 40 or 45 maybe. And I think I run a 70 on my signal, so I could see if I put a 70, especially if I flipped it over so it was kind of more straight, that might do it for me.
I feel like that might be interesting. I feel like what I'm feeling is like the arc is longer. We think about kind of like scalloping the turn. So it's like you need more scallops per turn. That's what I was feeling. I was like, okay, like I just feel like the arc where I think it's gonna be is like
It's a little different.
wide. So you're kind of hanging on to it and then.
It's like skiing like a bigger turn radius ski. So you gotta put just a touch more into it. But once it's over, it wants to stay there.
People unfold them out.
Yeah. This is my favorite rock on the entire climb.
Is it Turtle Rock?
Turtle Rock!
It's cool.
I love Turtle Rock.
Is that actually what it's called?
I don't know, that's what I've always called it. And yesterday when I was racing, Justin goes, oh look, it's a turtle! I'm like, aha!
I decided to open it up a bit on this flowy section, and I could immediately feel the fact that with the larger wheels, I was being rewarded for the power I was putting into the bike with a lot of forward momentum. This was a pretty cool feeling. The flip side of this is, of course, the fact that 32 requires more power to accelerate in the first place, so on a trail that has a lot of stop-starting, it is going to require more energy and maybe not feel as good. But on this section, it was an absolute hoot.
Yep. It's definitely how that's meant to be ridden through here. Also, definitely I'm tired from the past 3 days.
I feel like when I'm climbing especially, I notice the rear wheel's ability to just like roll up things more than I feel the front wheel. Because I think the front wheel on every bike I automatically lighten to get it up. But then a lot of the time you're just in a position where you're like heavy on the rear wheel. And so it's noticeable when you like hit the square edges that you just like roll up them really easily. Oh, hi doggies! Oh, the wolf pack! Well, we just rode for about 2 hours on these bikes, and definitely by the end, but honestly much earlier than the end. It just felt totally normal to me.
Yeah.
Like I
felt
just
really
stopped
good.
thinking about it. Yeah.
Felt fast.
So are 32s the future?
That is the question.
We don't really have a dog in this fight. We love our 29ers.
Love the Signal.
Based on today's ride, I'm like, okay, I can see this being a bike that would be fun and enjoyable. 32 is going to be for people who care about going fast, which is obviously us.
I got on it, and it didn't feel that different.
Yeah, the
Like,
adjustment
weird.
period was much shorter than I think either of us anticipated.
What I noticed fairly quickly was how well it rolled over things, because Moab has so many of these like stair steps that on a 29 your wheel like catches a little bit, especially the rear wheel, because you're usually lifting the front wheel and then your rear wheel like smacks into things and like stalls, and that happened less, which makes sense because it's a bigger diameter wheel, so it's going to roll up and over things more.
I overall was impressed with how maneuverable and playful the bike felt. I definitely felt some differences just in terms of timing. Pretty short period of time I was starting to be able to kind of hop over things and like feel like I could throw it around like I do my Signal.
First corner or two, I felt a little bit like it was wanting to shoot me out the apex of the corner. Like I had braked a little bit too late. And then after that, I kind of like adjusted, and then after that I stopped noticing it.
There's a lot of people worrying that like, oh, this is gonna take over, we won't be able to get 29ers, yada yada.
That happened 26 to 29, but it's not like it happened overnight. And I don't know if that's even going to happen.
And I think at this point most people would agree that that's a net gain. Most people we know love their 29ers. I mean, I think for the most part that's been a positive. So I would only really see 32 taking over on a very long time horizon if it does pan out that it is faster, it is possible to build smaller frame sizes, that shorter people even do enjoy riding 32s, which I think is a big if at this
Definitely
point.
a question, yeah.
My instinct is like 32 is not going to make sense for anyone under 5'5", but the thing that keeps me from saying that is the fact that we were all saying that about 29ers, and now I know many people under the height of 5'5" who are very, very happy with their 29ers. I think more likely 32s are going to be a tool in the arsenal, maybe for certain types of racing and certain types of riding, depending on what you're interested in. It does make sense.
The faster a course is, the more that carrying momentum will benefit you, the more likely a 32-inch wheeled bike will be the right bike for that course.
It's about having options for more people and more different kinds of riding. 32 is going to be huge for anyone over 6'2". Actually going to be able to get a bike that like feels appropriate for people who are really tall.
Yeah.
There were a lot of growing pains to make early 29ers ride well. And I think the engineers and bike designers have learned a lot about how to make a bike with bigger wheels maneuverable.
Tyler even said that.
Yeah.
He said, like, we learned so much from going from 26 to 29 that we can now apply for going from 29 to 32, that it isn't going to be as, like, slow a process. You're not going to have these bikes that, like, ride really terribly for a while.
Yeah,
Like,
and then that was immediately obvious to me with this bike. It's like, okay, this bike rides objectively well. That was a lot of fun. Like, that was just a fun day, testing, trying new things, getting to see how Tyler and Spencer think about bikes and how they can take sort of the gibberish gobbledygook that we gave them and be like, yeah, that makes sense because this, that, and the other. Because we are not engineers. I just want to ride my bike. Whether 32 is the next big thing or not, we don't know. We do feel open-minded to it and intrigued to kind of see where this goes.
And Ari's actually letting us take one of these frames home, so we will be doing more testing on this, riding it on some other trails, riding it on our home trails that we know really well, and we might even be taking this bike to a race in the near future.
So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for a big pivot next week as we do our second ever gravel race. is literally to your hip bone. This is the future low. Get used to it. It's coming. Looks totally normal. You can't tell me this bike is too big for me because there are women who are 5'0" riding 29ers. So a 5'11" woman can fit on a 32 inch, no problem. And look more like my competitors than I do right now. Now it's time to find out. Probably a question that a lot of people have is, will the 32 inch wheel fit on the bike rack? I think it's gonna go. Oh my god, they look huge when you put them like that though.
I'm trying to figure out if... Yeah, I think it's
Okay, alright. Regardless of discipline.
That was my shoe. Sorry, it was not a fart.
I was like, we need to re-record that. That was a fart.